Project FDL Foam Dart Launcher, or FDL-3, number 0185, Toki Meki Crisis, or Heartbeat Crisis. This is a thing that probably shouldn't exist, I can't believe exists, and not only that, it's mine. It was custom made for me by Project FDL, and I wouldn't own this blaster in any sort of capacity had it not been for some very generous people during one of my Saturday night stream things in which Scott Tyrell started an avalanche of donations with the simple comment of, here's some money, I heard you wanted an FDL-3. And I mean, who doesn't want an FDL-3? If you're in the NERF ecosystem, you've probably seen one of these things, and you probably have wanted one, but you've probably seen the price tag and realized that's a very tall order. And not only thanks to Scott Tyrell, but a lot of people who donated to make this thing a reality. I can't thank you enough. I hope to see you at events, and I really hope you shoot me with this thing, because it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for Project FDL, who, when I messaged them after placing my order to kind of work out what I wanted for my hydro dip and whatnot, they were very coy. They said, come on, Walcom, we know what you really want. And yes, I wanted a blaster hydro-dipped in anime panties, but I figure that for something I'm getting specifically to take to events and whatnot, like a lot of events where small children may be around, I didn't really want to deal with the potential backlash of having a blaster like that, even though I think it's really tame. I wouldn't put anything too explicit on there, but I went with the next best thing, which is something completely, you wouldn't even know what this is from. And even if you've seen the show where it's from, you probably still wouldn't know where it's from, because this is based off the Toki Meki Crisis Gashat from Kamen Rider X8. In Kamen Rider, especially the newer series, they all have a gimmick to transform, and in Kamen Rider X8, the gimmick is called a Gashat. They're all based off video games, to some loose degree anyway, and this one is based off a dating sim called Toki Meki Crisis. Not a real game or anything like that, that's just what they do. And I managed to find art that they turned into a hydro dip to put on the front of my blaster that's based off this sticker right here. That is it. This, and then of course the activation screen behind Kamen Rider Poppy are the only times you will ever see this character. They don't have a name, they don't have anything. That is what this blaster is based off of. And you wouldn't even know it unless you saw the series pretty much all the way through. That's a pretty tall order for a pretty obscure blaster, and it gets a little bit better, because if you heard at the very beginning, this thing has a custom startup sound, which at the time of its construction, which wasn't too long ago, but I've had it for a couple of months, is one of 3 blasters that has a custom startup sound. Which, besides the ECS beeps, is of course the activation sound of the Gashat. And that was the entire impetus for this blaster. Now, if you did not know, the FDL-3 is a completely custom 3D printed foam dart blaster. I'm sure you've probably seen one at some point in time, but if you didn't, yes, it's 3D printed with electronics in it. This being the full auto back for the FDL-3, there is of course a semi-auto one, which is a much smaller but doesn't have nearly as many features because it's semi-auto mechanical only. And then I have the 40 dart nose on the front of it, and that is a bit confusing for some people. In fact, I got multiple questions saying, why did you get the 40 dart version? Why not the cool, half dart version that everybody else wants to use because it's the best for performance and accuracy? And my reasoning for that is because I want a thing that uses the 40 dart magazines or 44 dart magazines, because these all hold 44 darts without any problem whatsoever. And when you combine a 44 dart magazine with semi-auto high power, or, a 2-shot burst or 3-shot burst or 5-shot burst, whatever you'd want, you can customize all that stuff on this blaster. That's why it's so crazy. Well, you get a pretty insane package package here, and a pretty unending stream of darts. Yeah, that's a big magazine and a very big blaster. I mean, it's bigger than a pistol, that's for sure, and it's extremely heavy. This thing is a little less heavy than, say, the Deleter, which is very heavy for what it is. Yeah, that's a lot of power. That's a lot of darts. It'll pretty much last forever, and if I don't tag everything out in front of me in this amount of darts, I'm doing something wrong. Which leads me to my next point. The FDL-3, with the computer built into it with the screen right here, is completely customizable. You've got 6 buttons. It seems like they're mirrored, so each of these are just for if you're right or left-handed or holding the blaster in your right or left hand. And this knob and then an on-off switch, and you can use the knob to change the value on it, which is going to be extremely difficult for me to show. There we go. You can change the value, so right now it's selecting speed, but of course I can click that in and change things like rate of fire, burst, and even down to how fast the wheels spin up and down, which for a lot of people, that is very important. You may have comfort levels, and this is a way you'd want to keep that comfort level up. And for me, this was important because obviously I travel to a lot of events, and I need to have a blaster that would be usable at pretty much all of them. No fuss. So with the speed, I can turn it all the way down to basically stock strife levels. Or I can turn it all the way the frick up to have a 190 FPS beast. You can see it vibrating into my hand from the rate of fire too. Let's turn that to semi-auto. And I have had not a single issue firing a dart pretty much instantly with this thing. Yes, there's gonna be some kind of delay, but honestly, it's so freaking short, it doesn't even matter. I've never had a problem aiming this thing or having to rev or anything. They really nailed this down with that single trigger thing. It just works really, really well for what it is, and it's a complete killer. This thing is not to be messed around with because it can hit, like I said, up to about 190 FPS. This battery is a bit dead, but let's see what it can do. 181, 180, 177. That one decapitate the dart, and yes, these are worn darts, but that one still did 169 for some reason. You get the idea. These things are powerful, they're fun, and if you do want something like this, no, you don't have to spend an obscene amount of money to get one from Project FDL. You could, of course, buy a hardware kit from them and print out the blaster yourself and customize it to how you like, and there are other flywheel options that would give you something that is comparable, but not nearly as many features, in my opinion. I've yet to see another blaster system that has as many customization options as the FDL-3, because you can customize just about every single thing about this blaster using the buttons and the knob and stuff in the back of it. And if you want something completely crazy custom that is totally you, well, I can't hydro dip that. I don't even know how to get the film, but lo and behold, not only did they get a custom hydro dipping film for it, but they put it on for me, and I love how this turned out, especially for the fact that they kept pink in the middle with the white pieces up on the nose, and that breaks up the character a little bit, but it also breaks up the entire line of the blaster, which makes it look fantastic in my opinion. Maybe the only other thing I would have possibly done, maybe had this piece down here also done as well, so you can kind of see more of the legs and whatnot on the character, but I think it turned out great. Honestly, they worked so hard to get this done for me, and I can't thank them enough. And that is something that even if I were to make a blaster that is physically comparable to this with select fire, brushless, and all that stuff, and hits similar velocities, would not have been able to do myself either way. And the best part is, I didn't have to mess with it. I just ordered it, it showed up, I got it. I actually picked this up at End War, played a couple of rounds with it, had fun with it. They took it back home to finish up a couple of things, like the custom side plates right here that have the same logo on them that the actual toy has. Right there on the side of it, if you can see that, they actually took a picture of that at End War and made it into the side plate, which is awesome. And I also paid them a little bit extra so they would just put a ton of clear coat on this. So hopefully it'll be a while before this thing rubs off, because not only was that a problem I had at End War, but also I saw Naptown nerf Knee the magazine, which shattered the entire front nose of his FDL-3, so now I'm a little scared to ever use this thing, but I should be fine, I hope. I really like this blaster. I actually did get a bunch of extra stuff with it, things you'd probably expect and some things you wouldn't expect. For one, I have some different wheels in here because I was testing some different material wheels that they were just starting to use. I'm not sure if that's standard now, but I don't remember what the wheels were made out of, but these are the original PLA ones, and the ones I have in there are different and they work really, really well. And then the original stock point. You'll notice mine doesn't have a stock point. That's because I never thought I'd put a stock on the end of this because there's no stock that was going to match it. Lo and behold, they got a stock that they print out that I could have gotten for this one. So that's something I'll have to get in the future. And then there's some side plates and stickers, and the little insertion plates in here I can actually clip into my magwell so I can fit a standard single stack mag if I don't want to use the double stack for compatibility reasons. And I do also have the plate, one of these on the side, for mounting this to a holster. The problem is the holster I ordered never showed up, which was extremely frustrating, which was quite disappointing because this was going to be the secondary to my Dominator, and now I'm going to have to figure out a whole new kind of system, or at least find a way to get the hardware for this and print out my own or make my own or something. I don't really want to use 3D print for the holster because my buddy Valor made me like a knockoff holster kind of thing, and it snapped pretty much immediately and my FDL almost hit the ground, so I'd rather have something that's printed and then also secured to some other piece. But that is the FDL-3. That is my FDL-3. This is Toki Meki Crisis. I want to thank Project FDL for making this thing even happen, but of course all of you who donated to make this thing come into an existence. Seriously, it would not exist without all of you, and I cannot thank you enough. And if you do see me at an event, please shoot me with this thing. It is the least I could do for you. And I hope you're just as proud that I completely wasted your money and turned it into an abomination against God. But at least I'm happy. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. And this is about as different as I think I can make it. Now all that's left is to obviously get the blaster I want, like a Caliburn or something, covered in anime panties. I even have these darts that match it perfectly, literally perfectly, from the strong arm that you can get off Amazon, the cool pink and purple one. But I really wish I had, I don't know, about 36 more of these, because then I could actually use these and fill up an entire magazine and made that super cool. But they don't sell these separately, unfortunately. So if anybody finds a link on those, let me know.
You gotta up,